Welcome to this week's energy forecast. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Sarah Louise. I'm an intuitive. I'm a reader of the cosmic weather, and I'm here showing up to share with you my intuitive take on the energy of the up and coming week and how you may navigate yourself through the cosmic weather. So, those of you that know me, yes, I'm not in the office. This is my last forecast that I'll bring to you away on my travels. I will be back in the office next week. So, yeah, it might be a little bit noisy. You could hear the ocean in the background. There's lots of birds around. So, we'll just roll with nature for this week. What kind of week do we have coming up? Well, I'd say it's a pretty special one. Yeah, I'm actually recording this on the solstice, and where I am, it's the summer solstice. You may be in the winter solstice. Solstice energy is really beautiful. It's a shift in season, and we're either going to go into that beautiful internal hibernation, just really activating the light within, or we're going to go into that external summer, really embracing the light externally. Yes. All solstice energy has this incredible kind of, I always think, a really magical feel to it, because it's like change in season, shift in energy, reset point. Some say that the solstice are the kind of acupressure points throughout the year. We have 4 of them, and it's like when they're activated, a big shift happens energetically. So we're in this beautiful solstice energy all week. We're on the back of, we've got a full moon coming up in a few hours. So all through the week, we're going to have the energy of that really powerful Capricorn full moon. So a full moon in Capricorn for me is very much around, do the work, step up, become responsible. It's quite a serious energy in some way. And it also, because it is right on the back of the solstice and full moons, when they're that close together, they're very amplified. Okay, so a full moon in Capricorn is most definitely, like all full moons, it's a time of letting go, releasing, but it's also a time to really go, okay, I need to take accountability of where I'm at, the choices that I've made in my life to be where I sit today, and take full responsibility of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, and if there's things in your life that are going really well, really kind of sitting in gratitude of, wow, I've created this is really incredible. And if there's things that aren't working so well, wow, I've created this, how can I recreate? Because this doesn't feel like it's in alignment with me, this bit here. Yeah, so what do I need to do to shift this? Where's my mindset? Yeah, what do I need to do? What pattern do I need to change? So it's a real point this week, I feel, of kind of sitting in that beautiful center and going, okay, where am I at in life? I created all of this. What do I need to change? What actions do I need? Kind of making a plan. Capricorn's very much, do the work. Yeah, so methodically do the work, create a plan. And yeah, as I say, responsibility and accountability are big words around this full moon and all this week coming up. Yeah, we're in the last week of June. Yeah, as we go into July, there is a lot of shifting of energy coming in. So let's really use this week as this focus point of, okay, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm creating for the next 6 months. Remember, solstice is around planting seeds for the next 6 months. So, all week, really focus, your journaling, planning, timelining, this is where I'm going. Yes, I've created that. I'm not really feeling that, so I'm going to create this. Yeah, I'm going to kind of clean that up. Yeah, we're also now in Cancer season. And I always feel like when we're in Cancer season, we're in the emotional waters, so we might feel a little bit emotional. We may be looking for safety and security, and that, I like Cancer season. Some people are like, oh, it's a bit too emotional, but I think it's good. We get this chance to really kind of tune into our emotions because we're feeling them more than we usually are. And our emotions are a really good guide of how aligned we are. If we're emotionally not really feeling right, then we need to really do a self-check. Yeah, where am I off? Yeah, where do I need to bring myself back? What's not working for me right now? Yeah, so it's an emotional time. Yeah, there's a beautiful focus on family and security and, you know, feeling at home in our skin and feeling at home in our environment. So let's really use this week as a reset, but also like a real check-in. Yeah, and not just a check-in of, oh yeah, but like a real deep check-in. Yeah, and where we're not aligned with where we want to go, where we maybe need to do some adjustments, where we need to take some responsibility and stop blaming, where we need to take some accountability. Let's really do that this week and, you know, really start this new season off on a really strong, grounded, foundational footing. Yeah, that's the energy of this week. Yeah, I really would say, you know, again, do your planning, sit down, you know, create that plan for the next 6 months, you know, so you know those points, you know, and each month, what are your reference points? Who's going to hold you accountable? You know, have your accountability buddy. You know, do your gratitude every day of reaching those little steps towards that big goal, you know, and kind of really enjoy the process rather than there's the goal right over there. And, you know, until I get there, I'm not going to be happy. It's like, no, let's find the little wins along the way and, you know, really become accountable and, yeah, congratulate ourselves as well on the progress that we're making. Yeah. So it's beautiful energy. I do have a live session on Monday where we're going to do a real reset for this new season. Tune into that beautiful solstice energy and that Capricorn full moon and the Cancer season all together and really set the tone. This Capricorn full moon, right, we've got 2. So I do feel like there's quite a long story that's involved, you know, around this. It's not just like, you know, one full moon in Capricorn moving on to the next thing. It's like we've got 2 consecutive full moons in Capricorn. So I'm saying it's part 1 and part 2. There's a longer story that's going to be playing out over the next, you know, 6 weeks, 2 months. So yeah, we're going to do some work around that, really kind of open up to, you know, what that energy wants to show us, where it wants to kind of, you know, enlighten. Because remember, full moons kind of light up, they illuminate, you know, so let's be really eyes wide open to what that is and really work with that energy. Yeah. And as I say, there's 2 parts. So we're going to be working under this first one and under the second one. So we really kind of, you know, take whatever it is going to be bringing us. So we're in beautiful times. I want to talk to you a little bit about my trip as well, and just for a few moments, just around certain things that I've kind of really learned over the last few weeks. So going with the flow is something that we all talk about, but it's something that I feel we quite often will resist, yeah, because of our programming and our conditioning. You know, the kind of flow really wants to take us over here, but we're stuck in a lot of shoulds and, you know, yeah, I should do that because whatever conditioning's around that. And I'd planned to go away over to Europe and we were borrowing, my husband and I, a friend's Winnebago, and we were going to drive through France and Spain, and we had this big trip planned, and it just really it wasn't feeling right. And every time we sat down to try and book it, it was really hard work and nothing flowed, and we kind of like, we didn't really know, we didn't really want to book into these kind of campsite car parks, and it just wasn't feeling. And it just felt, and we had this plan for months, and literally 3 weeks before we were meant to leave, we still hadn't done anything, because every time we sat down, it was like, oh, this is too hard work, like we're going to argue, or no, this isn't happening. And then the friend whose caravan or Winnebago we were going to borrow actually called us and said, I'm really sorry, I can't get insurance, so you're not going to be able to do it. So then it was like, okay, well then let's just go over. And then we looked at the weather, and it was like cold, and I was just like, it's, you know what, every time we're looking at this, it's not happening. So from that, on a Sunday afternoon, we kind of sat there and went, actually, what do we truly need right now? And it was sunshine, it was retreat, it was warmth, it was just, you know, it was just to let go. So within that hour, from months of stress. We'd booked a holiday to Thailand, we'd booked our first accommodation, and we were off. And it was so easy. And there was no resistance. So it was like, you know, I said to my husband, this is right. Like that, we got to really start to trust when it feels really hard. We can't push. Because every time you push, you're pushing against the flow. So we came back into this beautiful flow. And then everything just started to line up. And I was like, oh, this is such a beautiful reminder of living in flow. So if there's anything going on for you that is hard work and you're having to really push, really please take a step back and go, okay, maybe where do I need to have a look at this might not be in alignment with, you know, my highest version of self or what's really true and right for me right now. Yeah. So 3 weeks into this beautiful trip, there's another 2 things that I really learned. One is that there's a need in me to live with certainty. So I was on a Tony Robbins course and it was really highlighted there. We did some workshopping around, you know, living with uncertainty or certainty, you know, and when I have this need for certainty, when uncertainty comes up, it can feel really uncomfortable. So 3 weeks in Thailand, traveling around, getting on a moped every day, eating in restaurants, eating, you know, places that I don't know. The uncertainty can be really overwhelming. And the fear that comes up with that, you know, oh, should I eat that? Shouldn't I eat that? Is this safe? It's really busy. Ugh, is it going to rain? I'm going to be on a like huge. And what I learned, but what was really enforced in me over the last few weeks is trust. Because you can't live with certainty. I cannot be certain that if I eat that meal, I won't get food poisoning, but I can trust. Yeah, I can trust my intuition that if it feels okay, it will be fine. You know, certainty, if I don't have a hotel booked for tomorrow, that something will come up that's right for me. Yeah? There's no certainty in that. So if you're like me and you really crave that certainty, it's impossible in this life. And if we want to live in flow, so when we feel that coming in, we have to really go into trust more than ever. And I've really learned to let go over the last few weeks on another level. You know, I don't have my daughter with me. I'm trusting that that's all okay. And, you know, it's a long time to be away from work and businesses and kids and dogs and house and life, you know, and I like to be in control and certain. And, you know, I like to know that that's certain. And I've let go. I'm going, you know what? I'm safe on this moped. I'm safe to eat that. And if something happens, then, you know, but am I going to limit myself? No, I can't do that. No. Yeah, so trust. Go with the flow. And it's so much easier said than done. But the more we can practice and the more we can put ourselves in environments when it's tested, actually the better for us. Because the growth and the space and the freedom, oh, it's amazing. And one last thing was that there's that beautiful saying, you know, fear is false evidence appearing real. And I had an amazing reminder of that. So yeah, I grew up in England and the south of France. So I grew up a lot around the water, but there's always been an element of wariness in the water, of going under. So I'll water ski, I'll wakeboard, you know, anything on the top, but put me under, I don't like it. And that's just been my story through life, and I don't like it. You know, let's go snorkeling. No, I'm fine, I'll just sunbathe. And why, I don't know, maybe I just watched Jaws too early, who knows. But we spent a weekend over on an island called Koh Tai. And it's all about snorkeling and it's all about, you know, water. And so my husband was like so excited, we're gonna go snorkel. And I was like, yeah, it'll be amazing. You know, I'll just lay on the beach and I'll wave. And anyway, we got there and he went out and he came back. He's like, it's so incredible. Like, you've got to come. So I'm like, I just don't want to. I just don't like it. So you would really laugh at me. The first day I went out on a kayak with a snorkel and I kind of laid on the kayak with my head under. And I was like, oh my God, this is super cool. I feel really safe. Like, I can do this. This is fine. And then the next day he said, I've got us this little private boat for a few hours. There's apparently some really cool spots we're gonna go. And I was like, oh God. So we went out with our snorkels on to this beautiful reef. And I was like, you know, he's like, babe, you got to get in, you got to have a go. This is incredible. So I, you know, got in first. I'm like laying on his back, you know, pretty much like holding onto his shorts. I was so scared. And I just kind of looked around and I just thought, seriously, Sarah, what are you scared of? Like, really, people do this every day. You know, I had that real self-chat. So I kind of let go and had the most incredible experience. The guy on the boat said to us, I'm going to take you around this corner and there's sharks. And I'm like, yeah, right, as if I'm going to get in. But it was so incredible. I just let go of the fear and I got in. So I snorkeled with sharks around the most incredible reefs. So by the end of this, you know, it was a few hours we were out, I was diving down, touching things. We actually went, me and my husband, we went, swam off from the boat on this reef, and there was the most incredible, enormous turtle. And we were swimming with it, touching it. I went off on my own, and I got back on the boat, and my husband was like, wow, I'm so proud of you, like, what a difference. And I was like, yeah, I actually want to learn how to dive. Like, I want to explore this. This is incredible. And I spent the whole afternoon saying, like, did you see this? Did you see that? And oh my God, that fish was so incredible. And, you know, and I swam with a shark and a turtle and like a million different species and around the most incredible coral. And I'm like, wow, I overcame a fear in a moment and I don't have it anymore. And I feel really free. So if you can challenge yourself to face a fear like I did, and, you know, just push through that head talk and push through, because it, you know, false evidence appearing real was so, that was it. That was all it was. It was all in my head. And now I feel like there's like a whole nother world for me to explore. So it's incredible. So if you have a fear, I would so recommend you to face it, because the freedom and the like aha moments that you get from that, incredible. So they're my little holiday teachings. We actually leave tomorrow, so I'll be back in the office on Monday, and yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So I will turn it around and show you a little glimpse of where I am for this last few days. I've been back in Samui, but on the other end, on the south end of the island. Super beautiful, very different, very rugged, but it's beautiful. So have a beautiful week. I'll see many of you live online on Monday night, and yeah, let's get this season rocking right. Yeah, we got some fun to have. Have an amazing week.